You're listening to episode 3 of the Aligned Actor podcast. Okay, so I feel like I manifested this episode because I had been thinking that I wanted to get this podcast to a place where I could just come up with an idea, record it, and put it out there and not get too caught up in, making it like precious or perfect or anything like that. And here we are, episode 3, and I did that. And it's kind of exhilarating and exciting. I had this idea this morning. I wanted to try it out. I did it. I recorded this episode based on it. And I listened back. And at times I'm like, ooh, I could have explained that a little better. But oh well. And you can come and ask me about it in the Facebook group. I think I did a pretty good job. I don't know. We're always our worst critic, right? Hopefully. I don't know. Maybe you'll critique me. I'm open, whatever. Ultimately, though, I'm learning, I'm having fun, and I hope I'm inspiring you to try these things out too. So here's the episode. Enjoy. Welcome to the Aligned Actor podcast. I'm Amy Schlurb, and I am an actor and a student of conscious creation, looking to learn, grow, and share my experiences with you so that together we can master our mindsets and manifest the careers of our dreams. Let's play. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the podcast. I have to tell you about this really great audition that I just had. It was a commercial audition, and that's all I'm going to say because we all know companies like to keep their ad campaigns very hush-hush and all that stuff. But it doesn't really matter what the audition was for because it was great from start to finish. My drive down there was really great. There was hardly any traffic. I must have hit the timing just perfectly. I listened to a great podcast on my way down there, so that was really fun. Parking was super easy, which is always something I worry about, but parking for some reason was just really easy. I walked into the casting place, and there were only 2 people ahead of me on the sign-in sheet, so I knew I wasn't going to be there too long. The session runner was super nice and just gave a great explanation, that was really clear, really easy to understand. He also then gave great adjustments in the room. He was fantastic. He was really fun, and he was clearly having a great day, and then I was having a great day too. So it was pretty fantastic. Plus the audition itself was just really super fun. It was just a really fun little bit to play with, and I just had a blast acting that part. It was really fun. So it was just a super fun, 5 to 8 minutes that you're in the room, right? And then coming home was a breeze. Again, barely any traffic. Again, timing was just perfect, I guess. It was all amazing. Like I said, start to finish, it was the perfect audition experience. I hope we all have experiences like this. It was great. Okay, so here's the thing. I have not gone on this audition yet. I'm going to. Right after I record this part of the podcast, I'm going to get in my car, I'm going to go and do this audition. But I'm testing out this type of visualization where I pre-experience the audition exactly how I would like it to go. I'm setting myself up to expect the best. And I've heard other manifesting teachers and people talk about this too. And I've done it for other meetings and things. I've gone through these sorts of, pre-experiencing the experience. And I found it very helpful. And I think that's because I think what happens when we take ourselves through a little rehearsal in our mind, a positive sort of expect the best rehearsal, I think we prime our brains to be on the lookout for how to make that happen. So when I expect to have a fabulous, fun audition, my subconscious mind gets to work to make sure that what comes into my awareness as I'm going through the audition is fun and fabulous. Everything that happens, all the objective events that happen, my brain goes, oh, how can I experience this as fun and fabulous? Because I set up that expectation with my little rehearsal. I think that's what I'm going to call them now. They're not just visualizations. They're little rehearsals. I'm just doing it ahead of time. It's a rehearsal. That's fun. So instead of doing what I might normally do, which would be kind of expect the worst, right? Parking is going to suck. Traffic is going to be so bad. I bet there's going to be a ton of people. It's going to take forever. And the session runner might be mean and just in a bad mood. This whole thing is going to suck. Now I don't even know if I want to go. If I go in with that expectation, then I feel like my subconscious mind is going to seek out all of the ways that those things are true. And my experience of the audition is going to be completely different. I think it's kind of like that glass half full, glass half empty thing. If I could, if you have two actors who, on paper, it looks like they have exactly the same audition, right? The events are exactly the same. And one will tell you that it sucked, and the other will tell you that it was great. And I know I've definitely done that. I bet if I could go back and do over some auditions and have exactly the same events happen, but change my expectations and kind of change, what I want to have happen, change how I want to experience it, that I could experience it as amazing or as horrible, depending on what expectation I go in with. I think it's all about how you choose to experience it. So I'm trying this out. I took you through that thing in the beginning of what I'm expecting from this audition. I'm clearly expecting it to be fantastic and fabulous and a wonderful experience from start to finish, from when I leave leave in my car to when I come back to my place in my car. It's going to be fantastic. That's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting the best. And we will see what manifests. We will see what happens, and I will report back. So enjoy the little interlude music that I might put in or something. Yeah. And I'll see you on the flip side, I guess. Okay, so I'm back. You guys, it was amazing. It was just like I imagined it. I mean, exactly. Like, I'm clearly a psychic. Okay, I'm kidding. But it was still great. Here's a blow by blow. So just settle in for a minute. So I hung up with you as if we're on the phone. I don't know. What's podcast lingo? I stopped recording. I went and got ready. For some reason, I was feeling a little anxious. I'm not sure why. Maybe I just felt like I had to manifest a good experience, or else this podcast would be ruined or something. I don't know. But I kept reminding myself that, this was just an experiment and that I was going to have a fun and fabulous audition. That was really all I was going for. So I got in the car, and this really fun song that I hadn't heard in forever was on the radio. So I listened to that for a little bit because that was really fun. And then I turned on the podcast that I wanted to listen to, and that was nice. The drive was really easy, uneventful. I saw a funny blow-up eagle in an American flag outfit. It was weird, on top of a car dealership. It was enormous, and it was just so random. And I was like, that's really funny. I saw production trucks in Hollywood. I always like seeing those. I feel like it's always a good sign to me. Plus, it's a sign that stuff does shoot in LA, which is always nice to see. And again, I was laughing out loud at this podcast I was listening to. Okay, so then parking was a little difficult because it was street sweeping day. But I kept reminding myself it would be easy. I got this. It's fine. And normally I can actually go in the opposite direction and be like, oh God, it's street sweeping day. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to, this is going to go, yeah. But I didn't do that. I caught myself before that happened. And I found a nice little spot in 5 minutes. It was fine. I got to take a nice little stroll in a neighborhood. I got some steps on my Fitbit, so I always like that. Walked up to the casting place. A nice person held the door for me, so that was lovely. I sat at the audition for a little bit, but nothing crazy. And then the session runner was very sweet, gave a very clear explanation, great adjustments in the room, and it was a really fun little moment to play as far as what we were actually doing in the audition. So all of that played out exactly how I had envisioned it. So that was really fun and kind of exciting for me. And then I left, and I remembered that I had a little Dove chocolate in my purse, and the saying on the inside of it was, "It's not about where an adventure ends," which is nice, I think. It's a nice thing to think about. It's a great reminder that the outcome of this audition means nothing. If I get a call back, great. If I book it, great. But for right now, I'm choosing to celebrate that I had an audition today, and it was fun. So that was cool. It was a fun little reminder from Dove. So thanks, Dove. And then I drove home again, laughing out loud to this podcast, and not this podcast, a different podcast. Anyway. Okay. So then I had some lunch and I wrote my thoughts out about this and I started to record. So overall, it was a delightful experience, start to finish. It was kind of like, now that I actually think back on it, it was kind of exactly what I took you guys through. Now, okay, now I'm going to contradict myself. Was it exactly how I rehearsed it, quote unquote, when I talked to you all through it? No. There were moments, when things would happen and I could have very easily gone, oh, that's annoying, or ugh. But, I didn't. I caught myself in those moments, especially the parking thing. I could have very easily spiraled down on that and been like, oh God, this is awful. I cannot find I don't know what I should do. I mean, should I park in like a completely different neighborhood and then Uber over? Like, what should I do? I don't know. No, I trusted I was going to find a spot and I found a spot really easily. So overall, my brain kept looking for the good and finding the good. So really, there wasn't too much bad, as it were, that I ended up seeing. I think this takes practice. This is not easy necessarily, but I think it's worth practicing, and it's something I'm going to continue to practice because I would much rather live this way. The alternative is it's not so much fun. It's not as enjoyable to me. You're free to live your life however you want to. Some people like to complain about things and then get really fun stories out of it. That's great. That's fun too, I think. But for me, I like to look for the good and then find the good. And that's something I've been trying to consciously practice in my day-to-day life. And I think this is one way to do that. So I'm going to keep doing it. I think it's going to keep getting easier and easier as I practice it. And I feel like it's going to be healthier for my brain to expect good things than to expect bad things. So I'm going to keep rehearsing, quote unquote, before auditions, envisioning them the way that I want to see them go. And I invite you to try it with me and come on over to the Facebook group. You can find us at facebook.com/groups/the Aligned Actor Community. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. We can share experiences together. It'd be really fun. And for me, I think that this is especially important for me because in the past, I'm getting better at this, but in the past, I have had the habit of expecting the worst, and I want to break that. I want to expect the best. I want to think that I'm going to find really easy parking. Parking's my big bugaboo, guys. I'm going to change that. I'm going to change that in 2019. I'm going to expect the best parking. I'm worried that I'm not going to find the right building or that I'm going to have somehow gone to the wrong address or whatever the thing is. Like, my mind goes there first, and I'm like, no, why? Why are you doing this to yourself? Don't do this to yourself. Expect the best. Expect it to go a really good way. And then probably your brain will figure out how to have it go that really good way. I think so. I don't know. I don't know exactly, but it's what I'm trying to do at this point. And I think I can train myself to expect the best, rehearsing / visualizing. I think that'll be fun. And then when I'm in it, affirming that, this is fun and fabulous. I'm having a fun and fabulous time in this experience. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Come play with us in the Facebook group. It's really fun. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. If you feel inspired to do so, please subscribe, rate, review, and share this podcast with your actor pals so that more people can enjoy the good vibes. Also, be sure to join the Aligned Actor community on Facebook by going to facebook.com/groups/the Aligned Actor Community. That's the place where this podcast gets interactive. It's a pretty fun party. You're going to want to get in on it. Until next time, remember, you are an amazing actor and you are creating the career of your dreams. Congrats!